Hello, great people. As the struggle for control of the soul of Rivers State continues between Governor Siminalayi Fubara and his estranged godfather, Nyesom Wike, I want to make a comparison of what could have happened if Nyesom Wike happens to be the number 3 man in Nigeria, if Nyesom Wike happened to be the Senate President of Nigeria, or if he happens to be the President of Nigeria, what would have been happening in Rivers State by now? You will know that Rivers State is currently in so much trouble and violence. Let us examine it. Nyesom Wike had a presidential ambition. What that tells us is that if everything had gone well for him, Nyesom Wike right now could have been the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. With so much aggression, with so much obsession to power that Nyesom Wike has shown, definitely, if he happens to be the president of Nigeria, he would have used all the power and resources at his disposal to make sure that he removed Fubara. Don't forget that the lawmakers loyal to Nyesom Wike initiated an impeachment proceeding against Siminalayi Fubara. So what that tells you is that if Nyesom Wike has more power, he would have done more, because initializing an impeachment proceeding is the highest or the biggest weapon in the arsenal of Nyesom Wike. So for him to have deployed that particular weapon when the conflict, the confrontation between him and Siminalayi Fubara is not as much as this, what that tells us is that if Nyesom Wike has more powers in his at his disposal, definitely he would have deployed them now that the conflict between him and the governor Siminalayi Fubara has gone out of hand. So imagine that Nyesom Wike is the president and he had so much resources at his disposal. Imagine that Nyesom Wike is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The way he will use that power against Siminalayi Fubara. Nyesom Wike is just a minister, right? He's not the commander-in-chief. So if he's just a minister and the police is conducting themselves in a largely not too professional manner as it is being done in Rivers State in the past weeks, now imagine if Nyesom Wike is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of Nigeria. Your guess is as good as mine. Now imagine if Nyesom Wike is the president and he has so much money at his disposal that he can use to buy anybody buyable. Nyesom Wike has money now, but then buy in this sense is not only about money, in the sense that if Nyesom Wike is the president, those that are supporting Fubara, those that are his backbone, he can decide to be appointing all of them into juicy positions just so that they can go against Fubara and Fubara can be left empty-handed so that he can have opportunity to deal with him. Now let's just examine if Nyesom Wike is the number 3 man, Senator Godswill Akpabio. Now Nyesom Wike and Akpabio has some similarities. Akpabio served 2 consecutive terms as governor of Akwa Ibom State. Nyesom Wike served 2 consecutive terms as governor of Rivers State. After serving their terms, both of them decide to install a successor. Akpabio installed former governor Udom Emmanuel. Nyesom Wike installed Governor Siminalayi Fubara. Now, Akpabio tried to lord over Udom Emmanuel. He tried so hard, but at the end of the day, he didn't have his way. Just like so many other godfathers. The case of Obaseki and Oshiomhole is still fresh in our mind. The case of Senator Rabiu Kwankwaso, the former governor of Kano State, and Abdullahi Ganduje, the immediate past governor, is still fresh in our memory. So, Godswill Akpabio tried to lord himself over Udom Emmanuel. He didn't succeed. He was resisted. Akpabio gave up. He left Udom Emmanuel alone to be his own man and finish his tenure. Now, the case of Nyesom Wike, he successfully installed Siminalayi Fubara, but has failed to allow Siminalayi Fubara to be his own man. Now, Siminalayi Fubara, not being a total good boy in quote, has earned him confrontation between him and Wike. If Nyesom Wike, with the way he deploys powers, which is obsession to power. If he is Godswill Akpabio, what will happen? Let's not forget that when the Rivers State local government election were being held, on that same day, the local government election in Akwa Ibom State was also being held. So, Godswill Akpabio, the number 3 man in Nigeria, the Senate President is the number 3, President number 1, Vice President number 2, Senate President number 3, Speaker of the House of Rep number 4. Godswill Akpabio is from the opposition party. The current government in Akwa Ibom State, this Udo Eno, the governor, is a PDP man. Godswill Akpabio is APC. So it is safe to assert that Akwa Ibom State has been largely peaceful because Akpabio choose to be matured and peaceful. Follow me on this journey. I'm going somewhere. Now, if Akpabio choose not to be peaceful, he has all the powers, he has all the ability, he has all the resources to ignite problem, to ignite conflict in Akwa Ibom State. So, for Akwa Ibom to be peaceful, despite having a Senate President, let us applaud Godswill Akpabio. Even though his performance at the Senate is nothing to write home about, but in this case, he has displayed so much maturity. Now, let us go to Nyesom Wike and make a comparison. Nyesom Wike and Siminalayi Fubara are in the PDP, and there has not been peace in the state, just because, apparently because, Nyesom Wike wants to see the state as his personal property or want to continue lording over Fubara. And Fubara has been resisting that, no, during your time as governor, you had a good reign. You had a good time. You were your own man. You enjoyed all the right, privilege, and authorities of a governor. You cannot come and restrict me during my own time. The implication of this is the conflict and crisis that we are seeing back and forth in Rivers State. Now, let us imagine if Nyesom Wike were to be Godswill Akpabio. Definitely, as number 3 citizen, if a state of emergency is declared in Nigeria, in any state, the Senate has to ratify it. The reason for that is that when a state of emergency is being declared, the framers of the constitutions of the 1999 constitution want to be sure that the president is not abusing his powers. They want to be sure that the president is not imposing a state of emergency because he doesn't like the state governor or the political class in the state. They want to be sure that he's not doing it to favor his political party, especially in the case of Rivers State, if the ruling party is the opposition party, if the ruling party is not the party of the president. So, let's imagine that Nyesom Wike is the Senate president. We have a presidency that is not willing to totally subject itself to thorough scrutiny as it should be done in a democracy under the principle of separation of powers and checks and balances. Now, in that instance, when the executive, the presidency, begin to seek different kind of favor from the legislature, you will see that an Akpabio, or if Nyesom Wike happen to be the Senate president, all he will have done is to lobby Bola Ahmed Tinubu to just make sure that he declares a state of emergency in Rivers State. And your guess is as good as mine, that if the president declares a state of emergency, don't say that they can't declare a state of emergency. A state of emergency is being declared when there's a breakdown of law and order. It comes cheap for the willing political hallelujah boys, the willing political thugs in Rivers State to set up fire in Rivers State, to kill who needs to be killed, to destroy whatever available property they can destroy. And everywhere will be in conflict and a state of emergency will be declared. Now, if a Nyesom Wike, with the way he has shown his obsession to power, is the Senate president, he will use all his ability, all his capacity to apparently or to allegedly lure the president into declaring a state of emergency. And when a state of emergency is declared, definitely it will come to him for ratification. And trust me, Nyesom Wike will instantly ratify it, and that would have put Siminalayi Fubara in problem. Don't say that this cannot happen. Every politician use their power for their interest. And when they are in trouble, they deploy the best weapon in their arsenal to get their pound of flesh. Let us look at the case of Obaseki and Oshiomhole. Obaseki was to get a return ticket, but Oshiomhole was the national chairman of APC at that time. And both had fallen out. Despite Obaseki being a performing governor, despite Oshiomhole being the one that installed Obaseki, despite Oshiomhole being the one that lured Obaseki over the state and crusade all across Edo State to say Obaseki is the best candidate, all of a sudden, the Obaseki that is, according to Oshiomhole, in the first time election of Obaseki, is the best thing that can ever happen to Edo State, suddenly, all of a sudden, because of their political differences or their political dispute, Obaseki became the unqualified candidate. Apparently, Oshiomhole was deploying the best arsenal in his weapon. So, as I said earlier, we need to give kudos to Godswill Akpabio, the Senate President. I personally don't agree with his style of leadership of the Senate. I believe that the real checks and balances that the Senate is supposed to be doing has not been done or is not being done. But the truth is, his maturity has made Akwa Ibom State to be largely calm and peaceful compared to Rivers State. So, what I can advise Nyesom Wike is, there's time for everything. And Siminalayi Fubara learned from you. He was a former appointee. You were his political godfather at some point. So he has learned from you. And what he learned from you is, when you are governor, you must be your own man. You must be in total control of the structure, the apparatchik, the rights and privilege of a governor. And Siminalayi Fubara is doing just that. So that means that Siminalayi Fubara trained rightly under Nyesom Wike, because he is doing what he learned under Nyesom Wike, because Nyesom Wike can never allow anybody to lord over him if he has still been the governor of Rivers State. So that is what I see about this Rivers crisis and the comparison between Senate President Godswill Akpabio, the number 3 man, and Nyesom Wike, who happens to be, by my assertion, the least minister in the cabinet of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, because every other ministers, their jurisdiction, their constituency is every location in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. But as Minister of FCT, in the first tier minister, the senior ministers, you are the least rank, because your only area of jurisdiction, your area of constituency is only FCT. So, and if you are to compare FCT to the whole of Nigeria by percentage, if I can use the word of Buhari, FCT is just like a dot in a circle. So, Nyesom Wike should realize, or maybe should get some lessons. He should be humble enough to walk up to Akpabio, to take some lessons, or now to give up as a godfather and how to keep the state peaceful, even when you have been ousted as a godfather. It's been an interesting time with you on this episode with Politics with Dr. Omosholadeji. Dr. Omosholadeji is a political scientist with a PhD in political science, and what we do on this channel is to analyze politics and happenings in the politics. Do well to subscribe so that you can follow up with my videos and catch up with my past videos. Do well to turn on the notification button as well. Till I see you again, as I always say, I'm not far away from you, I'm just around the corner. Stay safe, stay blessed. I love you all sincerely.